It took me years to understand why I kept overperforming until the day I realized I didn't know who I was without it. There is a question that many ambitious women quietly carry, but rarely say out loud. Who am I if I'm not the role I have been performing? Not the title, not the achievements, not the responsibilities everyone relies on, just me. If you have ever felt exhausted by being the capable one, the responsible one, the strong one, the high performer, this episode is for you because there comes a moment, especially after years of pushing, proving, and performing, when something inside you says, I don't want this the same way anymore. And what makes that moment scary is not the change, it's the identity uncertainty. Who am I now? Who am I becoming? Who is this woman? What you're experiencing, if this resonates with you, is not confusion, it's identity expansion. When you have spent years being rewarded for performance, competence, and reliability, your nervous system learns that my value comes from what I do. So when the doing stops working or stops feeling aligned, the brain panics. Not because something is wrong, but something is changing and your brain doesn't understand what's happening right now. For more than 10 years, I lived inside a very clear identity. I was a global consultant, traveling, leading programs, working across countries, delivering results in high stakes environments. From the outside, it looked impressive, and in many ways it was. I was competent, respected, my expertise was needed, and I was very good at performing under pressure. What I didn't realize at the time was how much of my identity was wrapped around that role. And it started rising tension over time. Something started shifting, but I couldn't quite understand what was happening. The travel felt heavier, the responsibility felt constant, the expectations felt endless. And instead of excitement, I felt depletion. But here's the thing about high achieving women, we don't stop immediately. We push harder, we adapt, we perform better. So I did it until the internal gap between who I was and what I was doing became impossible to ignore. There was a moment where I realized I don't even know who I am outside of being this person. Not the consultant, not the high performer, not the reliable one, just me. And that realization was both terrifying and liberating because it meant something important. I was triggered between the identity I had built my life around and the version of me who was evolving. Even though it's much better now, I'm still in this transition phase where I'm figuring out who I am becoming. And the first shift wasn't dramatic, it was internal. I started asking different questions. What do I want? What feels true? What actually matters to me now? Is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? Questions I had ignored for a few years already because performance was easier than honesty. And so, slowly but surely, I started stepping out of the identity that had defined me my entire life. And when I look back now, I realize what I was experiencing wasn't random confusion. It was an identity transition, and many women move through recognizable seasons when this happens. There are phases of evolution where your energy, priorities, and ambition are recalibrating. Actually, there are five of them that I have learned through extensive research and my own journey. And you may recognize yourself in one or several of them. The first one is the grounded visionary. You sense change coming before you can even explain it. Your mind is full of ideas, possibilities, directions, but clarity isn't fully formed yet. The shift here is moving from scattered insights into coherent direction. The second one is the radiant reclaimer. You are still capable, but your system is tired. Fatigue, overstimulation, disconnection from your body. This isn't discipline, it's depletion. The shift here is from survival mode into sustainable energy. Then comes the soft power leader. You are competent and trusted, but you feel like you are still performing strength instead of fully inhabiting it. Pressure feels constant, slow it down feels guilty. If you are in this season, the shift is from effort driven leadership into embodied authority. You may also recognize yourself inside the aligned creator. You feel pulled towards something new but haven't built it yet. curiosity mixed with uncertainty. And this is clearly the one I'm currently experiencing. Here, the shift goes from possibility into lived direction. And last but not least, the liberated sage. I can also recognize myself in this one. Your tolerance for misalignment is dropping fast. You want simplicity, clarity, truth. If you're in this season, the shift goes from obligation into sovereignty. Actually, I can tell that I was among the first three earlier in my journey, and that now I have transitioned into the last two. If you are listening and thinking, I can see parts of myself in more than one, that's completely normal. I'm one of you. Most women move between these seasons over time. And if you want to understand which phase you are in right now and what kind of support will help you most, that's exactly why I created the iconic quiz. It gives language to what you are experiencing internally. And so, you can start thinking about what will be your next step. I will ensure we put the link in the episode description if you want to explore it. Now, wherever you recognize yourself, one thing matters. You are expanding beyond the version you have outgrown. And that's part of what this work holds. The process of coming home to yourself beyond performance. And it's easier said than done, I know. And here is the reframe I want you to consider. You are not losing yourself. You are meeting yourself beyond performance. This stage is not collapse, it is homecoming. And that's part of what this podcast exists to hold, a space where women can come back to themselves. If you want to be more practical, here are a few experiments that you can try this week. Number one, a body check in. Once a day, pause and ask, what do I want right now? Not what should I want, not what's logical, just notice. Number two, shift your language. For 1 week, replace I should with I choose to or I refuse to, and watch what changes internally. How do you feel about it? Number three, identity question. Ask yourself, who am I when I'm not performing? Write whatever comes up, no judgment. It's just you and yourself. Be honest. There comes a moment in every woman's life when performance is no longer enough. Not because she failed, not because she's ready to live differently. You are not losing your identity. You are expanding beyond the one you outgrew. And that is a powerful place to be. I remember back in days where I was really confused with myself, not understanding why I was no longer satisfied by all the successes that I was experiencing. And I felt guilty and I felt weird that it's a lot to handle. And honestly, it's a roller coaster of emotions. But through guidance, through your own research, through learning how to listen to your body, how to listen to your thoughts, trust me, you will feel so much lighter and happier. If this episode resonated with you, if you are feeling the shift between who you have been and who you are becoming, the iconic quiz can help you understand this transition with more clarity. It would help you reveal the identity phase you are stepping into and how your own ambition, energy, and boundaries are evolving. You can take it anytime. The link is available in the episode description. Until next time, you take care.